Oh my God, Oscar, I don't even know what to do right now. I'm stuck. I'm stuck in New Jersey.
Isn't that your favorite place though? So it's a
It's
good place to be stuck in,
it,
right? That's your favorite place.
it's my worst
To,
place in the world.
huh?
Yes.
Huh?
So,
Why do you hate New Jersey?
because it's work and it's a plane trip and there's shit to
Oh
do
yeah,
in New
yeah.
Jersey.
That's right. Your favorite thing, planes.
Ugh. Yeah, and then I
Ah,
gotta come home at some point and try to get to Vegas for work, and I don't know how this is all gonna fall out.
oh man, that sucks.
Yes.
So so you said that you wanted to desperately Skype me, and I'm like, Jay, we never Skype.
Yeah. So,
That's not a thing.
well, we had this whole plan set out to get together and record the newest episode, which is episode 90, and I'm really excited because it's something I've wanted to cover forever. But I got stuck here in New Jersey because of weather back in the Midwest, and some of my notes on the episode I wanted to do are scribbled back home in my home office. So I don't have access to them, and
Oh,
I,
crucial notes.
very crucial notes. And it's a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and it's a topic that I think listeners are going to be really excited about. So I didn't want to half-ass it. You know what I mean?
Not even 3/4 acid.
Not even three quarters. So I begged
No.
you,
Okay.
and you facilitated me, and I appreciate it so much. Could we please get on Skype and do an intro for the second Mental Detector episode?
And I said, didn't we do this already?
I literally think we have recorded and attempted to release Mental Detectors episode 1, part 2, at
Four,
least,
five, 4 times, right? Five
at,
times?
at least 4 or 5 times. I swear to God, I think this is cursed. I really think it's cursed. And because we have to come out every 2 Mondays, listeners expect a show. I couldn't get my notes for the show I wanted to do. So I said, wait a minute, we have Mental Detectors Part 2 that we haven't released yet.
Oh,
So we can
yeah.
still do it and still release on time.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're cutting it close. It's the due date,
Oof, it is
basically.
literally like I think we have like 6 hours to get this
Yeah,
out.
and I still have to finish my show and shit. Yeah.
And what's your show again?
Oh, another movie podcast? Actually,
An-
it's due today. It's due even earlier than yours, but
Another
due.
movie podcast, and it's due today.
Yeah.
Got it. And we're working on something for another movie podcast.
Well, not yet. I was hoping we'd get to it, but damn it, New Jersey. Just
I
damn
know.
it.
It's so, dude. I'm so stressed out. I'm like a number 11 right now. I hate flying, and I hate even worse being stuck.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess you know what? I hate that feeling too. I know exactly. I've never been. It's not like a natural. It's not like a thing that happens to me ever, but it has happened, and I hate it. It's so
Yeah,
annoying. It's
you're
so infuriating.
it is, and you're at the mercy. There's nothing you can do. You're at the mercy of the airlines. I'll probably have to go from here straight to Vegas, which sucks. I won't see my family.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
blows.
that's right. That
The
sucks.
life of a traveler, man. But we do have a release for the listeners. We're doing this on Skype. Oscar, I think you're at home. Is that correct?
Sure. Go with that. I mean, I told the strip club owner to just lower down the music for just a bit,
Ah, yes.
while we
Strippers,
do this.
yummy.
Everyone needs money.
So Chicago to New Jersey, we're still going to release on time for the listeners.
Exactly.
So um, as far as mental detectors goes, this is all reliant on the listeners. The listeners have the final say on whether we continue with mental detectors or we bury it and just forget about it. But we've been getting some good reviews about this segment. One of them is from YouTube. A woman named Ange Life. That's Angelife. Ange Life. She wrote, "I really like this," and then she equated it to something she experienced. She goes, "I really like this. Felt this today at an architectural restoration supply store, almost oppressively there. There was an 8, 9, or 10. The energy, I'm assuming. Husband felt it too. We had to leave, even though it was fascinating. Smelled like dead people too.
Wow.
Yeah, really crazy. So I wrote back asking her about her experience. Maybe we could get that on the show. But Ange Life liked it, Mental Detectors. And there was a text message we received, Oscar,
Mm-hmm.
from
Wait,
Pam.
we can get text.
We can get texts at Chicago area code 872-529-0767.
That's not a real Chicago code. I don't know why you're lying.
872-529-0767. They can text us, our listeners. And Pam from Cary, Illinois, wrote, "Hey, Jason, Dave, Joe, and Oscar. I love the show. I'm missing hearing Dave and Joe on the show. I love the beta Mental Detectors. I hope that there'll be more. The shows on the serial killers have been great." So things are going good with this Mental Detectors thing.
Yeah, I guess I'm glad people are liking it, really, because it could have been 50-50 on
I
that.
know.
Because they're different people. People are more used to you and me. It could have been easily something else.
Yes.
I'm glad people are liking it, though.
Agreed. I am.
At least the ones that are telling us. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the ones who aren't telling us are keeping quiet. They're like, "Fuck these people," and
how dare they try fucking something new?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a perfect segue. Listeners, again, this is all up to you. Contact us online at contact@chicagoghostpodcast.com. Call us at 872-529-0767. That's Chicago area code 872-529-0767. Let us know what you think about Mental Detectors. Do we continue? Do we bury it? You can contact on Facebook at Chicago Ghost Podcast on Facebook, or even on Twitter or Instagram at Chicago Ghosts. That's at Chicago Ghosts on Twitter.
And we're also on Snapchat where you can see nudes of Jason for only one premium member. I don't know how it works, actually.
I show my penis.
Wow.
He
does.
What?
Yeah, you did it. You went there.
New Jersey's in my brain. I'm being infected. I'm sorry.
Is that a New Jersey thing?
I think so.
Well, it is now.
So, Oscar, the last Mental Detectors episode, part 1, we kind of left the listeners on a cliffhanger. Dave Black, Joe Erie, they went out into a Chicago neighborhood and they used their clairsensitive abilities to locate a haunting. And they reached out, made a call, and actually it worked.
Yeah.
The person who answered the phone was completely freaked out, had some stories, and I think we should play those stories now. What do you think?
No, I don't. I'm done with the show. I don't want to give them anything. I don't want anyone to be satisfied by this show ever again.
I cannot believe the trials and tribulations on this Mental Detectors thing. I swear to God, it's cursed. It's cursed.
Yes, I think so. For real, I think it is cursed.
Yes. So let's try to play it and see what the listeners think. Does that sound good?
Yes, let's do it.
Skype is really hard because I can't see you. My cues.
Yeah, you don't know what I'm doing. I could be doing anything.
You could be doing anything dirty.
Right, with peanut butter. You don't know.
Ooh, Nutella.
Wow, I think it's Nutella, actually. You're saying it wrong.
All right.
Oh, yeah, let's do it. Sorry.
Let's run it.
We're supposed to run the clip. Okay.
Oscar, run the clip.
Yes.
When the devil's in the mood, nightmares come pouring out of hell.
Okay, it is the next morning after our investigation of Edison Park, and I did contact my friend Timmy, who was the part owner of the WIP theater that we got a vibe from, and inquired to him what he if anything, experienced there. He didn't have any personal stories himself, but did say that the other owner had an experience there. I do have a message into him, and I'm waiting for him to get back to me. But right now, I am going to call the Charles Joseph Salon, which is the place that we zeroed in on as the most haunted area or place in that area. And gonna see what I can find out. Calling them right now. I'm just gonna ask to talk to the most senior person there that's been there.
This is Carrie. How may I help you?
Hey, how's it going? I have kind of an interesting question for you. Has nothing to do with hair care or anything like that, but about the space that you're in, the building that you're in. How long have you personally been there for a long time?
The owner of the business has, yes.
Okay.
She's been here for 15 years.
Oh, okay. Is she there right now by chance?
She's with a client. Can I take a message and have her give a call back when she's done? This is a hair salon, so.
Yeah, I know.
Right now.
I understand.
Right now she's with a client, but I can take your message and she can call you back when she's done.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
How long have you been there?
I've worked here for 3 years.
Okay. So this is going to seem kind of weird. I have a podcast called ChicagoGhostPodcast.com. My friends and I have been doing this for 20 years. We've been researching the paranormal and stuff. So last night we arbitrarily just went over to Edison Park and walked around. My friend and I can both feel weird energies, and we both independently walked around that whole area, and we both concluded that your place specifically was the most haunted place that we felt in the area. And
stop it! You know I'm here by myself sometimes. And you're going to creep me out.
That's what I was wondering. Is have you ever had any unusual experiences there when you're there?
Yeah. Yes.
So our inkling is correct. We were indeed spot on with that.
You're giving me the chills right now. So crazy. Yes. Yeah. There's sometimes something will fall and you don't know why it falls.
Right.
Sometimes you leave here in the evening and it's in a different place in the morning and you don't know why. But then you're just thinking, okay, maybe a client moved it on their way out.
Right. We can honestly say we literally both walked around the entire area independently and then we came back together and compared notes. And the two places that we picked out were the Mecca lounge place down the road, and and I didn't even realize this at the time, but the theater, the WIP theater, a friend of mine owned that. I used to do comedy years ago. And a friend of mine owned that, and we didn't even realize until we got to it, that was what we were feeling over there, was they have had experiences in there as well. I'm still waiting to hear back from them on that. But
and they know they had a fire there.
Yes, of course. And I'm starting to think that the fire might not have been, we'll just say that maybe the fire was created by something not of this world.
Something else?
Yes.
Oh, that is so weird. Yeah, our building actually here has been here for over 100 years, this particular building.
That's pretty much what we figured. Yeah, because it was funny because I picked out 6710, which is the place right next door to you, the doorway upstairs, and then Joe, my buddy, picked out 6714 as the two places we felt the most. And when we feel it, it can kind of come out and follow us around a little bit, so it's hard to pinpoint exactly where it's coming from sometime. So, when we walked up to your front door last night, it was like walking in.
The door of the salon?
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah. It was like we were walking into a cloud of static electricity. It was like on fire. It was crazy. So, okay, let me give you my number, and if you guys can call me back, we would love to come and sit down with you guys and have an interview about this, if that would be cool.
All right. Yeah, let me take your name and your number, and then I will definitely tell Pam, who is the owner of the business. She does not own the building; she just rents the spot for her business.
Okay, cool. Well, my name is Dave, and my.
Okay. Is there a message you want to leave, or should I just explain to her our conversation?
Yeah, just kind of explain to her our conversation that we sort of arbitrarily just wound up there last night, and we've been doing this podcast for almost 3 years now. But Joe and I are clairsensitive, kind of like a medium. We can feel weird energy, so we can literally walk by or drive by a place and tell if it's haunted by looking at it, and get it and our gut feeling. So we decided to put this to the test last night, just going over to Edison Park because we knew it was an old neighborhood. It's near both of us, and
it is, yeah.
and so your place is the one that we picked out as the most haunted place.
Okay, so did you hear anything, see anything? Look through the windows?
No, we didn't really. I mean, we didn't really get that into it. We just get a really strong vibe, and we can feel that. Like, I picked it out as a 7 or 8 out of 10, and he picked it out as like an 8 or 9 out of 10. So it's like pretty up there as far as energies that can be present.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, we would definitely like to talk to you guys about it and come on over and interview you guys maybe after hours or take you out to eat or something like that.
Oh, crazy. Okay, well, I'll definitely give the information to my boss. Her name is Pam,
Okay.
And I'll have her give you a call.
Fantastic. And what is your name?
My name is Carrie.
Carrie, thank you very much. It was good to talk to you.
Thanks, Dave. Good talking to you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so we're not crazy. That place is definitely haunted. All right, so, Dave and Joe's Mental Detectors show number 1 is indeed a success. We didn't get to go and talk to people in a bar or anything like that, day of, but this certainly is, this is what I expected out of it. So I'm pretty excited to say that, it was a success, and we did both independently verify that this was the most haunted place, and the place obviously just verified that, yes, indeed, it is haunted. So we will be hopefully conducting an interview with them, and possibly with Tony, the owner of the WIP Theater. So we will hopefully have more info for you soon. So it is August 2nd, 2018. We are here at the Charles Joseph Salon, which is the place that we pinpointed last Tuesday. And we're about to start conducting interviews, but I'm just going to be doing a walk through the place. I'm here with JoJo, Erie.
How you guys doing?
And we're just going to do a little bit of walkthrough and see what we can feel. In the back room right now. Okay, there's a bathroom back here that's definitely got some vibes going on. And there's a laundry room, a break room that we're in, and office. I'm not feeling anything in the office. There's another bathroom over here. Definitely some vibes in this bathroom too. My hands are getting red. And then right out here on the south side of the building, a little seating area, I guess, where you sit with your hair curlers next to the drying machines. There's definitely some vibage going on over here. It's hard to pinpoint anything right now because the salon is open and active. Over here at the chairs and on the north side, I'm feeling some stuff. And now at the front of the shop, my right arm is all tingly. Alright, I'm going to go back to the back room here. There is a door to the outside. See if we can go out here real quick. You want to come out? Okay, now in the back of the building. Definitely feeling some vibes in there. Okay, so it looks like the rest of the building here is vacant. I don't know if that porch looks stable. I kind of want to walk up there, but it looks pretty rickety. Yeah, so apparently the only unit in this particular building that's occupied is the salon at the base. Doesn't look like any of the other units above it are open or have anything going on in them. What did you find in there?
I noticed that I definitely felt it more in the back.
Yeah, in the back by the bathrooms. That's where I got it.
I don't know if it's just because there's more people in the front right now or what, but I definitely felt it in not the back bathroom, but the other one.
Yeah, the bathrooms, more so in the front bathroom than the back bathroom, and the kind of the seating area just outside the bathroom is where I got it the most. Who knows how that will change when people are not here, but yeah, that's where we're at right now. And it looks like I kind of want to go up on this porch back here, but it's, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it doesn't look safe. I should send Joey up on it. Well, yeah, from the back, the building pretty much looks abandoned. Sans a couple of new windows up there. Are you gonna fall? Yeah, I wouldn't go up on that second level if I were you. No railings or anything. Okay. All right, so we'll do another walkthrough when the place is closed or people aren't around. But for right now, definitely some vibes in there. Hello, Pam.
Hello.
I'm Dave.
Hi, Dave.
So we've been doing paranormal research for about 20 years now. A little over 20 years, in fact. And both Joe and I, Joe, who's not here today because he has to work, he works for a major parcel delivery service, we'll say. And he has a route today to do. So essentially we're what's called clairsensitive. We're not clairvoyant. We can't communicate with the dead or anything like that. But we can feel energy. So we can drive by a place, walk by a place, and tell if it's haunted or not. And over 150 times, we've come across a place, felt a vibe at a place, and then later on confirmed that it was haunted, just like we did here. So last Tuesday night, Joe and I came to Edison Park with the intent of finding a haunted place. We came here at night hoping that we would find like a bar or a restaurant that was still open that we could like interview right on the spot. That did not pan out. And plus, the people in this neighborhood are not really all that friendly when it comes to talking about that kind of stuff, we found. Everyone was kind of standoffish. I don't know if it's like the old mob mentality or what, but it's like, we don't know nothing. We don't want to talk. So we both independently walked around the neighborhood. And when we compared notes, when we met back up, I picked out 6710 and 6712. And Joe picked out 6714. And then we walked back over here and realized what we were feeling was oozing out of your salon. So, of course, I called in the morning. I talked to your receptionist. I forget who I talked to initially. Carrie. And she, of course, confirmed that, yes, there's some stuff going on. So, tell us a little bit about the background of how you came to be at this place and how long you've been here. We'll start there.
Okay, so we've been here 15 years.
Okay.
The place was like a dump. This is original floor. It's like over 100 years old. And we did a bunch of rehabbing. Now it doesn't look so good, but usually it did. And it's a cool place. I grew up here, so we love the high ceilings and, all that.
Fantastic. Was there anything in particular that drew you to this space, or was it just what was available, or?
I wanted this area.
Okay.
So this was perfect.
Fantastic. And how long have you been here now?
15 years.
When did you first open up here?
December of 2003.
Okay. Cool. You did a full remodel on the place?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So
what was here before you opened up?
So I think it was Van's Variety, right? Or was that next door?
I think that was down one more.
Yeah. I'm not sure what was here. What was happening like right before we came here, the owner of the bakery who owned, it's in the same building, she was next door.
Okay.
She was using this for like storage. She was actually going to open like a little Italian bistro. Never panned out.
Okay.
So we took over and
that explains the
fixed
giant
it.
stand mixer out front, out back.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
How has it just been sitting in the building this whole time?
Forever. Well, she just moved out a couple years ago.
Okay.
So
it's probably like a $2,000 mixer.
Yeah, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was living in there.
Oh, okay.
In the back of the bakery. It was pretty creepy.
Wow. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And then do you know anything about what was here before that or anything?
I don't. Not sure.
Do you know the age of the building when it was built?
No, I know it's like over 100 years old, though.
Okay.
Don't know.
Do you know of any deaths or incidents that occurred in this building?
I don't.
All right. Michelle, anything?
I don't know.
Now, you used to live upstairs, right?
I did for a short time, about a year.
Was it fully furnished apartment or what was the deal?
Well, it was kind of a crash pad for a bunch of flight attendants. So
Okay.
there was a bunch of people coming in and out. It was kind of like, yeah, it was somewhat furnished. Yeah, there
What
was
sitcom material?
pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
What years were that?
That
was
would be 94.
Did you have any experiences up there when you were living there?
I did not have any experiences up there. The only thing I've ever had here was about 2 years ago. I would come in and I would smell smoke right at the entrance, right when I walked into the salon.
Okay.
And I'm always the first one here. So there's nobody here, and it was when nobody was living upstairs. So I told her, I keep smelling smoke when I come in here. And like someone had just been smoking in the entrance. And you said,
Ashley,
one of our,
the girl who used to work here before her said it all the time. She would
Wow.
say, smells like smoke when I walk in. And she was always the first one in, too.
Now, is there any explanation for that? Could there be like a homeless person that sleeps in the doorway and runs off
No.
before you get here or anything
it's
like that?
like inside. It wasn't
It's
like
in.
right in the door.
Yeah.
It was like when you come in by the front desk area.
Yeah.
So we definitely have some evidence of like sensory stuff. And have other people smelled that same smell? Or like, for instance, if somebody is next to you, do they smell the same smell?
I'm usually here like
all alone.
Okay.
alone for a while. Yeah. So
Gotcha. Okay. What experiences have you two personally had here while you were here?
Okay, so I had kind of a big one. It was a few years back, let's say maybe 5 years back, and I was standing at my station and nobody was behind me, nobody was around me, and I was talking about something that had to do with somebody that died, and a glass just shattered, like out of the blue.
Whoa.
Like we all looked and we were like, "Oh my god, nobody was there." Like it was crazy. Like
what kind of glass was it?
It was like a regular glass that you
Like a drinking glass?
Drinking glass,
Like
yeah.
like a highball glass?
But
or
it was like a glass
a
looking
little bit
one.
shorter than
just like
Yeah.
a standard kind of 8-ounce glass.
Yeah.
Now, was there any liquid in it? Was there anything in
Nothing.
it? It wasn't hot. It
No,
wasn't
because
cold.
you would think,
Yeah.
right? No. Mm-mm.
So it just
nothing.
by on its own volition just
Yeah.
exploded.
Yeah.
Wow. Have there been any other incidents at all that you've experienced personally?
Nothing really for me, no.
Okay. Any like weird vibes, kind of chill up your spine,
Oh yeah,
kind
here
of thing?
and there for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So when I talk about the feelings that Joe and I have and how we can sense this stuff, that's literally what we're feeling.
Yeah.
But in a very intense way. Essentially, think of it this way: that feeling that you're having is the actual energy that's causing the haunting coming in contact with you. It's literally, it's like a dog running up to you and saying hi.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that's essentially what we feel. We're like the dog person at the party when you walk into the party and the dog's like, oh, that's a guy that I want to know, and
Yeah.
they run right up to you out of the whole crowd. So that's kind of how we are with this stuff, is we're sort of a
Wow.
magnet for it. So that's why we weren't really able to pinpoint the exact spot when we were, because it came out to us when we walked by. So
Wow.
we were able to kind of pinpoint a specific area, like general area where it was, and then kind of narrow it down from there. Now, Michelle, have you personally had any experiences here with this kind of stuff?
I haven't. And I'm a total believer. So
Yeah.
I would look for it. I can't say offhand that I've noticed anything. But
Okay. So you haven't had any specific incidents at all?
no.
Okay, so I have another question for you. This kind of gets off track a little bit. It seems like it gets off track, but it's important because it's part of our theoretical thing. Are you religious at all?
Yes.
Okay. And what about you, Pam?
Yes.
So you're both fairly religious, attend church and that kind of thing. We have this theory that people that are religious are kind of put a barrier up.
You're supposed to.
Yeah, and like
we don't all do it,
and it really is. It really is
Right.
sort of intentional, where you put
Right.
up this psychological barrier, so you can't. It's like putting a big wet blanket over yourself, where you kind of shut yourself out to it.
Yeah.
Whereas I find people that are more spiritual or atheist or whatever experience a lot more because they kind of don't have that block, that psychological block there, because it's kind of like. Not like I'm not going to say it's like wearing blinders, but it's kind of like wearing sunglasses where you're creating a filter almost.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Now, is there anyone that works here that is like freaking out all the time and always telling you stories and like saying things are happening to them, or is there any one person that it's kind of like focused on that is experiencing a lot of incidents?
Mm-mm.
Carrie has one or a couple of things, but nothing where she's like afraid to come in here.
Yeah. When I called,
until after you called.
When I called, like Carrie would definitely seem like she was like, yeah. There was definitely something happening.
She's your girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Have you guys had any like vivid or strange dreams about this place when you're? Like anything that just seems like you wake up and you're like, wow, that was crazy.
I do see things. Like all of a sudden I'll be like, ooh, I just saw something there. And then I'm like, nobody's there. Like I do see things.
So here you have had like kind of peripheral.
I have that everywhere though.
Yeah.
Like
so
I get that often.
Do you feel that maybe what is here might be following you around a little bit or kind of sticking with you a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know.
Do you feel... I mean, obviously you don't feel scared here or it doesn't feel ominous
Not
or anything like that. But can you say that you sort of feel a living energy in this space? Like when you're here, it feels different than when you're,
I never really thought about it.
Okay.
Until you guys, called. But yeah, I would guess that would be what's happening.
Because a lot, people will talk about like, musicians or comedians or whatever, they'll talk about like, a club that they go to or perform at or a nightclub or something like that, and I was like, oh, it's just got a really good energy in there. You just get this really good buzz, this really good vibe.
Yeah.
And would you say that this place kind of has that for you, where you feel kind of like enveloped and welcome when you're here?
Yeah.
So it kind of feels like almost like
people say that too.
Yeah.
Like kind of like almost like a relief. Like it feels like home when you're here. Like it sort of it adapts to you, if you will. All right. Fantastic. Do you guys have any security system here at all, like that sets goes off unexplainably, or any video cameras that have captured weird things, anything like that?
No.
Okay. And have you had any experiences elsewhere outside of this place, as far as unusual paranormal things go?
No.
Okay. And you?
My house is around the corner. It's an older house, and the people we bought it from moved because they thought it was.
Oh, really?
So we used to see shadows in our house, but it was always kind of comforting. It wasn't anything scary. So
okay.
That's
the thing is, like, when people live with it for a while, it kind of just becomes second nature.
And my son, when he was 4, used to say that he saw a man on the staircase. So I mean, it was just kind of one of those type of things that it wasn't scary, and he still talks. He's like, I wasn't lying. So
how old is he now?
He's 19 now.
Wow, and he really does.
He remembers. He said it was a man in a suit on the staircase. So.
Whoa, it's funny because I have a theory about American hauntings, and that's that what people are seeing in hauntings is not necessarily an invisible dead person, if you will. which is what commonly people think ghosts are. But I feel that the energy that's left behind is from a person that was once living, and while they're having their heart attack or burning to death in a fire, or they just got murdered, or whatever it was that they died from, their life flashing before their eyes is kind of what that is imprinted on that energy when it leaves their body. So what you're experiencing when you come in contact with it, you can kind of pull pieces of information out of it, almost as if it was a radio signal just out there in the ether. And if you drove through the countryside with your radio set to static, you're going to pick something up eventually. And it's kind of like, so when you get that image of the man on the stairs in the business suit, or you get an image of a woman in white or a child or whatever, what you're experiencing is you're literally experiencing the dead person's memories, more so than an actual, like you're not actually seeing the ghost of an old man, you're seeing the memory of somebody's father.
Wow.
Or the woman in white, which is a really common, the man in the business suit is one of the most common ghosts I hear of. Okay. The woman in white is probably the most common, which obviously is wedding, and then there's children, which are, the creepiest of all, of course. One of the first things we experienced, Jay and I, who started this back in 1998, we were in a haunted bar called the Morseland Music Room on the north side of Chicago at 2 o'clock in the morning, like literally a week after we discovered this whole thing. And a little kid laughed at us from the back of an empty room. And I would have rather it been a demon just telling me it's going to steal my soul than the sound of a child. Because that was really like, I don't think I've ever been that scared in my life. It was pretty crazy.
Wow.
We didn't even say anything to each other. We just scrambled over each other to get out of the room and shoved each other out of the way. It was pretty crazy. So, is there anything else that you have to add, or any other experiences you've had, or thoughts that you might have?
No? I think Carrie's got a good story.
Well, Michelle, I'd really like to talk to your son sometime.
Go to your house.
And go to your house and
I'd love you to come into my house and see what you think.
That would be really great.
They thought it was haunted.
Because the thing is, like a lot of these situations, we actually did an episode of a little girl, I think she was 6 years old, and she was having incidents with an imaginary friend thing. And when we went to the house, like you could feel like super heavy energy in her room. And the first time I went over there, she was balled up sleeping on the couch while I was talking to her mother and sister. And it was like a ball of static electricity hanging over her body. You could put your hands into it and feel it hanging over her.
Give me the chills.
Yeah, it was intense.
Yeah.
And when we finally got to interviewing her a few weeks later, she was kind of like, oh, it was all just pretend, like, because, people had been saying to her, like, oh, you're not really experiencing, and she eventually kind of lost it or whatever. But to talk to an adult person that still has those vivid memories of a, imaginary friend or ghost that they saw when they were children is really rare. Yeah. So that would be really, really cool to be able to talk to him about that. What's your son's name?
Kyle.
Is he around at all today?
He's at Lollapalooza.
Oh, okay. But I'd love to get your information,
Sure,
so we can discuss that further. Is there anyone else here that wants to talk to us?
Carrie.
Okay. Is Carrie going to be here for a while?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can go out. You can go upstairs. That's
Michelle,
fine.
do you want to come upstairs with us and visit your old place? All right, cool. Well, let's do that, and then we'll come back and we'll interview Carrie.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we are here with Michelle. Say hi, Michelle.
Hello.
We're right at the front of the salon here. We're waiting for everyone to gather their things. Let me get Dan, and then we're going to go actually upstairs and check out the upper floors of this building. The landlord of the building is actually here right now, so we're going to be able to actually go into the upstairs where they were remodeling right now to check it out. All right. You don't want to come in, Dan, or Tom? Sorry. Yeah, if you want to come.
Sure.
That's Dan over there. Dan, Tom. Yeah. Everyone. I mean, it's whole building. So, Tom, you're the landlord, right? You're the
Yes.
the owner.
Yes.
How long have you guys been working on the place here? How long have you owned the place?
We've owned it for 2.5 years.
Okay.
And it took a while. Then we decided to renovate it. So then about 6-8 months ago, maybe a year ago, we got the tenants out.
Okay.
And then just started the rehab process. So right now we're at the stage of, we did all the framing, the plumbing, electric, drywall. I'm meeting the drywall contractor here shortly, actually.
Okay, cool.
So that's kind of the stage where it's at. Right
Gotcha.
now. Yeah.
Well, have you had any unusual experiences or vibes while working in here at all?
No, we've had a lot of water damage. A lot of delays in the process here, but no, not me personally.
Okay.
No.
Have any of your workers said anything like, there was kind of a demon in here and I was talking to me? Nothing like that?
No, not that I've heard.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Yes.
Find any skeletons, anything like that?
No, there was a bakery that was on the south side of the building here.
Yeah. I saw the big stand mixer out there.
Yeah.
The thing's probably worth like $2,000.
It is. It is. It's an old Hobart.
Yeah.
It is actually. But she had been here for 38 years, and it was a little.
Do you remember what it was before we were trying to figure out?
No, I'm not sure. No.
We thought Van's Variety was like 2 doors down.
No, but who would know would be Vito from Tony's Deli right next door,
Okay.
because they're celebrating their 40th anniversary this weekend.
Oh.
So he was here prior to Julia, the bakery lady. So he would know. He would have information.
Gotcha. And you don't know the age of the building or anything?
No, if I had to guess, I would say it was maybe built in the 35 to 40-ish,
Okay.
1935 to 40s.
I think I looked it up before when I think it was like older than my house, so I think it was like 1902 actually.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I could be wrong.
We'll have to
but-
check into that.
Yeah, do you have any paperwork or any information that you can dig up on it at all?
No, I don't personally know.
Oh.
I don't have it yet, but I can check.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
cool,
I think
yeah.
that's where
What's the address again?
6712.
Okay.
6710 and 6712 is the two, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go upstairs here. Okay, and I'm not even up to the 4th stair yet, and I can already feel it. Because the thing that when I was wandering around the neighborhood here, the first thing that really stuck out at me and really jumped out at me was right in front of this door. So whatever is here is I can feel it in my head already. And what you're going to see is my veins will start popping up and my hands will turn red. I'll start getting goose pimples. My eyes will start watering. Okay. So here on the first landing, and I can already feel it tingling in my head. You feel it, Joey? I can already feel it tingling through my scalp. And we're probably at around a 6 out of 10 right here. Okay, going up to the second landing. And we are now on the second floor. Whoa. Okay. Now in the first room on the second floor. Definitely some vibes in here. Nothing terribly strong, but it's definitely, there's definitely a presence. Now, did you say that somebody killed themselves up here, or you think you heard something?
I did hear from a previous tenant that years ago that there was some type of a rape that had occurred in the building.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't investigate or check into that, but I did hear that.
Wow. So some bad things have happened here. Okay, looks like a small bathroom, I'm guessing. Now, another room here, not really getting anything in here. There's new insulation on the walls, new windows, putting in drywall. Kind of the whole place is gutted. Yeah, I'm getting to that. All right. Another room here. So is this going to be this is going to be a residential unit?
Yes, these are going to be apartments.
Okay.
So 3-bedroom, 2-bath units.
Okay, cool. So apartments, not condos, like rentals. Okay.
in the third bedroom here. Now I'm not getting anything terribly strong, but it is like this pressure, like kind of ever present energy. Okay, now I'm in the back room here. What is this room gonna be?
This is a bathroom.
Okay.
This was added as of recent, so this is new. This used to be. What was the back here? This was the kitchen.
Okay.
And we pulled the permits and we added a bath.
Gotcha.
So this is all going to be the kitchen.
All right. And those stairs out there are probably not safe for walking on, I'm guessing.
No, we could probably go out there.
Okay. Because we walked out the back and we were like, I don't know about that. So when you lived up here, was it in this space or the next space up? Okay. And you said you lived here 94, was it?
94. Sorry.
Oh, okay. So there's a whole other apartment on this other side. Okay, so we're now on the south side of the building. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is. There's definitely something hanging out in here. You feel it, Joey? Yeah. So Michelle's old room is the most haunty room so far. I mean, it's not the strongest it can be. Like, you know, it's like a 6 or a 7. It's not like a 10, but there's definitely something over there. And then what do we got more back here? So this is also going to be a 3-unit.
Yep.
Cool. Just out of curiosity, what is the rent going to be on a 3-unit 2-bath?
We're going to project somewhere around 26 to 2,800.
Okay. Seems about right. All right, now in the back of this second unit. Yeah, there's some more back here. Seems like the corners have got the vibes. Okay, so far, your old room and the corner of this back room definitely got something going on. Oh, okay. Did you find any cool stuff in the walls? Old coins or like a knife or a murder weapon or a skull?
No, I don't believe so.
Oh. Well, that's no fun.
I know.
All right, let's head on up to the 3rd floor and check that out. Okay. Joey, where are you at? Okay, we're going to go up to the 3rd floor. Heading up to the 3rd floor now. On the landing again. And getting a pretty strong vibe on the landing. Up to the 3rd floor, and now I have a headache. Okay, coming into the south unit on the 3rd floor. Nothing terribly strong here. And in the same corner room that I was on the 2nd floor, not really getting a whole lot in here. Walking through the wall into the next bedroom, nothing. Okay, 3rd bedroom, nothing. Now into kitchen. Not a whole lot up here. Not really getting anything on this floor. Getting a little bit of a vibe walking back through the hallway. Now we'll go check out the last unit, north side of the 3rd floor. checking out first living room into the next bedroom. There's kind of like this ever-present sort of thing, but it's nothing really jumping out at me. It's more of just kind of what was it calling it? The communis energy that just kind of like permeates the building. Really close to the next building over. And now the last room, the kitchen. Yeah, this third floor is like, it's got stuff, but it's not really too intense. I think the most intense thing I felt was in your bedroom downstairs on the second floor. So, alright, well, we explored the units above, and now we're going to go back down to the salon and do some more interviews. So, Michelle, when you were living here, did you have any stories or anything? Like, did anyone experience anything as they were staying here?
You know, there were so many people. It was, like I said, it was flight attendants. So many people were always coming in and out. Like, I was only here maybe twice a week.
Okay.
Besides it being full of cockroaches because it was so dirty now.
Oh, wow. And probably everyone was constantly high.
Yeah, oh yeah. Of course. Not near like this.
All right, cool. Well, thank you very much.
Okay, so we're here with Carrie. Carrie, you're the person that I first talked to when I called the next morning after we kind of pinpointed this place.
Yeah.
What did you think when I called you and asked you if this place was haunted?
I was kind of nervous after we had talked, only because I didn't really get a vibe from here before.
Yeah.
But there's a couple things that have happened, but I never thought it was because it was haunted or spirits. I just thought it's because it's an old building, it's under construction. So.
Well, when I called, I mean, when I said, "Hey, is your place haunted?" You seemed to sort of agree with that, like kind of right off the bat.
I did, only because just the last week there was a giant unexplained noise that happened that we had never heard before, and and Linda and myself didn't know why and where it came from, and what had happened. But it's just little unexplained things that after talking to you kind of go back on and say, I've been here for 3 years, and then you think, oh my gosh, could this be why? Maybe because it's haunted, or...
Do you want to explain the what happened?
Oh yeah, it was just a loud noise back here. There was Linda was just having a client, and I had already just finished up cleaning up back here, and was in the front at the front desk, and there was a really loud noise, like someone threw something on the floor. And she turned off her blow dryer, and she says, "Did you hear that?" I said, "Yes." And she says, "The back door locked?" I said, "It's locked." And I came back here, looked around, and there was nothing was out of place, and there should have been something giant in the middle of the floor.
Right.
And there was nothing. And it was just happened, like, maybe I want to say it was about 8 o'clock at night, and it was enough for her to turn her blow dryer off and say,
Now, was this was before I talked to you?
This was just a week prior.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why when you called, I was like, oh my gosh. Maybe it could have been something other than construction.
Was there anything else at all that you've experienced here that made you think that maybe...
there's just, when you're here by yourself, I've been here by myself late at night, and there's just been a few little noises that kind of makes you look behind your back.
Yeah.
But, it's an old building. We're the only ones that are in here, and so you don't really, it kind of catches you off guard, but you don't really think, oh my gosh, it's like, haunted, or there's somebody behind you, or, you just kind of turn around and say, oh, okay, whatever. And then lock up.
Pam kind of explained the same phenomenon where she thinks that there's somebody behind her and turns around type of thing, and she said she gets that a lot here.
Yeah.
Now, would you say that in this space, would you say that there's kind of a vibe present, like an energy? Like when you're here, do you feel welcome here? Like, do you feel like you're?
I really don't have any kind of feeling like that. Like, I don't have any kind of no, I don't feel like there's somebody here with you, or it's not an unfriendly feeling.
Right.
It's just normal.
But when you're here on your own, do you get that sort of like?
Yeah, you get a little creeped a little bit.
Do you get the like skin, like the hair stand up on the back of your neck, goosebumps sort of thing?
I didn't. I think I did when I heard that loud noise here.
Yeah.
It was just because it was just strange that there was nothing broken in here, and there was nothing on the floor, and there was nothing. But when I'm here by myself, that kind of, you hear something behind your back. I've never felt that, like the chills or anything. I've never gotten that here.
Now, would you consider yourself to be a religious person?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you attend church normally and all that kind of stuff?
Holidays.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
you're believe in God.
You're an American religious person.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
When it's convenient.
Yeah.
Because one of our theories kind of revolves around the fact that people that are religious kind of they put up this kind of blockade, which is sort of part of the religious experience, is like shut yourself off to crazy stuff that's out there,
Mm-hmm.
And we find that people that aren't as religious, more spiritual or atheists or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
are a lot more open to this stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
it kind of like they notice it a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as if. I'll kind of put it in the way like when you get a new car, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you start seeing that car everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like that car just showed up. It's always been everywhere. You just never noticed it
Mm-hmm.
before because you never really.
Yeah. Well, I've had
it.
experience with what they say, ghosts before, where I've had the chills and the feeling and getting totally creeped out, and so I am open to all of this.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You want to explain that situation a little bit? Like where did
It was my girlfriend's house. She lives in a very old bungalow in the city, and she had bought the house. She was 26 when she had bought the house. She's been there for 20 years, and early on she was single, so we were hanging out there a lot together, and she just always had footsteps all the time, like where you just look up and say. She would laugh and say, "Oh, it's just
Mm-hmm.
the ghost." And she had a closet in her spare room that was always freezing cold. And the one night I was sleeping over there, and we've heard footsteps now for years. It is just normal, And you never really wanted to be alone in the house, you know. But when we were with her, with other people, it was fine. And one evening I had slept over, and we were young after we were out. And it almost felt like someone opened. I heard someone open the door, but you're kind of, you don't know, you're kind of tired, so you don't really want to open your eyes or whatever. I just assumed it was her. And someone sat on the bed, then got off of the bed, and then shut the door. And the next morning, I said, "What the heck were you doing in my room so early in the morning? Why'd you come down here?" She's like, "I just got up." And so then you're like, okay, that was really strange because you feel that,
right?
So you know that you're not crazy.
It's funny because
it's like when you're a little kid and mom sits on your bed when you're sick,
right?
To check
what
on you.
What you just described is one of the situations I had when I was kind of first delving into this within the first few years.
Mm-hmm.
I had a sleep paralysis episode where I couldn't move my body, but it felt like somebody was sitting on the bed behind me. Like you can feel the bed compressed behind me.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody was sitting there, but I knew it couldn't be because the headboard was right there. There's no way it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard my brother's voice saying, "David, David, David." And I finally snapped awake and I called him. This was like at 11:30 at night. And I called him and the phone rang and rang and rang and rang and nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Then I called again and it rang and rang and rang and rang. And he picks up and he's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I just had a really weird dream. I heard your voice. I wanted to make sure you were okay." He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Goodbye." And he hangs up on me. So fast forward to several months later, and I'm in the foyer of my mom's house, which is where I lived at the time. And I was on the computer. I was like typing an email to somebody, and it was like something that was upsetting, or I was like kind of like, really emotionally like, And my brother and his wife come in. They come upstairs and they're standing behind me. And my brother's like, "David, I need to talk to you." And I'm like, hold on. And then I hear him go, "David, David, David." And it like snaps me out of it, and I turn around and I'm like, what? And he's like, Leslie's pregnant. You're going to be an uncle. And it occurred to me later on that night that I called him is when he was making my niece. That's why he was so pissed off when I called.
That's pretty funny.
So that was interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've had that same experience. Now, have you ever had sleep paralysis episodes before?
I have not.
Okay. Because that, like, basically what it is, if you don't know, it's basically your brain wakes up before your body does, but your body's still in REM sleep. So it's like kind of like when you take a light switch and you put it right in between, and the light doesn't know if it's on or off, and it's kind of just flickers there. So it's this weird situation that you get yourself into where your body has not woken up yet, like your body hasn't made the connection, but your brain is awake. So because you're still your brain is awake, but you're still in REM sleep, your brain starts to fill in all this crazy stuff of like just. Like when people explain like a phantom like holding them down or like, you know, aliens standing around them and stuff, it's almost always a sleep paralysis episode because what your brain will fill in with is like familiar sort of haunting images of humanoid shapes and figures and creatures and stuff like that. So I was wondering if maybe that was what you were experiencing, but
no,
this was
no,
you were
it wasn't.
fully.
I was fully aware that someone was coming in the room and sitting on the bed and like I said, that we always knew that you know, we always knew that there was something creepy in that house.
Right.
And that when I felt you know, that body or whatever sit on the bed, and it just kind of brought you to like, okay, well, why is she not saying anything? But so that kind of woke me up, but not enough to like wake up and sit up. Does that make sense? And so the next morning when she'd come down, I said, why were you in the room? So, you know, what were you trying to do? Why were you waking me up? And she's like, I wasn't. I just got up. And so then years after that, we still heard the footsteps. And she had recently got her house saged.
Okay.
And she actually had to have somebody come in because now she has a child that was sleeping in that room. And as the child got older, she started putting her baby dolls in the closet and turning her stuffed animals around because they were staring at her.
Oh.
And the daughter was starting to get creeped out, and she was 6, and she's like, okay, this is enough. Enough's enough. And so she had someone come in and take care of the house, and now the daughter sleeps in it just fine. And
now, when you say that the dolls were staring at her, was this like just a child being freaked out, or was this like literally all of the dolls turning on their own volition to look at her?
Oh, I don't know. I think it was in that this is what the little girl was saying. I don't think the dolls were moving. I don't think any heads were being turned. But I think that this child felt like the people were staring at her. They were staring at her. It was giving her the creeps, and she wanted them out of there.
Wow.
And this is the same bedroom that this happened to me. And so when this woman came to do this exorcism kind of a thing on the house with sage and all this other stuff, you know, Terry said that she felt this presence that's, you know, it's gone, it's done. And then weeks after that, nothing. So now I think it's been a little over a year, and there's nothing. The kid sleeps fine in her room, and and she says, I don't hear the footsteps anymore. And
so she's still in the same house.
Still in the same house. She won't leave the house. Yeah, the house is.
How long has she been in that house?
20 years.
Wow.
She bought it young.
So it just kind of went away after this aging. And
yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, is she a religious person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I kind of feel like a lot of times when you have somebody come in with the sage or like an exorcism or whatever, it almost, if it convinces the living people there that it's gone, sometimes it makes you put up that wall where you don't notice it anymore. Like you can kind of push it away a little bit. All right. Well, very cool. Thank you for talking to us. Do you have any other interesting, cool stuff to add? Any other experiences you've had, or
no, that's probably about the most interesting. Yeah.
All right, cool. Is there anyone else here that's had experiences that might want to talk to us?
I don't know. I see if Harley wants to talk to you, but
okay. Cool. Thank you. So, all right. So, I mean, no huge revelations here, but we definitely got some good experiences and stories. Joey, do you have anything to add as far as what you felt or experienced here, or
I mean, I've definitely felt some different vibes in different places walking around, especially the apartment building. Like, some rooms were more than other.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you definitely get a chill just walking in the place, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something here, and everyone that we've talked to that works here seems to agree that there is indeed an energy here. Now, it's it's nothing crazy out of the ordinary. It's nothing, super intense, but
like I've experienced before.
It's definitely
still something.
Yeah, it's definitely a presence that's here, and as far as doing this little kind of test run for the first time, we just came to this little 2-block area neighborhood here in Chicago, and we were able to pinpoint a place that not only is haunted, but was cooperative and let us come in and interview them. And
I mean, it's interesting, just like how much just getting a vibe from walking around can like lead to all these crazy stories.
Right, and I'm definitely going to follow up with Michelle because I definitely want to interview her son about what he saw when he was a kid. That's very rare for children to remember that into adulthood, and I think that's going to be a really interesting
another story. Maybe something else we could do.
Dan, our new producer, would you like to come sit down where Joey's at and kind of give us your opinion? And tell us a little bit about your backstory. Like
I've never felt anything in my life, so walking through here wasn't really anything different to me. It was just walking through a building. So it's hard for me to be a judge on that end. But
as far as just kind of the backstory of how we found this place, and what the people have said, like, do you believe that we genuinely have something here? Like,
absolutely. I mean, how could you get strangers together and everyone's just making up stories that just I'm a pretty what's the word I'm looking for?
Skeptical.
Yeah, I'm very
level-headed.
skeptical with stuff. Yeah, if you want to say level-headed, but yeah, I mean, obviously people experience things. Just because I haven't doesn't mean other people haven't.
And I feel like probably 1 out of 5 people have a story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everyone knows somebody that's got some crazy story about some crazy thing that happened to them. And I think it's almost like a matter of fact. It's just a fact of life. Some people are going to have otherworldly experiences that they can't explain.
Yeah, exactly.
And you'll notice that when she was telling me about the sounds and they were telling me about the glass breaking, I try to ask logical questions of what might have caused those things.
Yeah, exactly. You're not just hyping up what they're saying.
Right.
You're trying to figure out, is this for real or could it be something else?
Right. So tell us a little bit about your backstory, like how you were with a band, 88 Fingers Louie.
Yeah, I played in 88 Fingers Louie, and I met Joe, your counterpart here, for doing some of this stuff back when I recorded his band. So that probably was early 2000s, maybe 2000. I don't remember now. And I always knew, he was kind of into this, supernatural and spiritual side of things. But never really spoke to him about it too much after that. He did bring up a few things that he's experienced, but never totally in depth. And I think he's skeptical too of telling people because most people are going to be like, "Yeah, whatever, this guy's a crackpot."
And that's the
thing.
Like, even I'm so skeptical that even when Joe tells me something, I'm like, "Come on." And he's my friend of 20 years.
Yeah, and you experience things similar to him,
right.
So.
And if anything, this whole situation, because to tell you the truth, Joe has always said that he has the feeling as well.
Yeah.
And in a sense, there's a lot of times that we do kind of collaborate on stuff, and I can see that he's feeling. But I've always kind of like wondered, I'm like, is he feeling it in the same way I'm feeling it, or are we like on equal levels or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
But when we did this the other day and we compared notes, because he was telling me, he was going through his piece of paper. He just had like a piece of paper that was folded up into A's, and he was like trying to figure out, like when you listen back to the tape, you'll hear him kind of shuffling around trying to figure out what he wrote down. And I kept seeing the address 6714 that he had written on his paper, and I had 6710 written in my notes.
And that could have been him just walking past and then all of a sudden realizing and just looking, where am I at right at this point?
Right.
But it just may have taken a little bit of time for it to actually hit him.
Right. Because, what happens is when we, because it's literally a cloud of energy is what it is. And it's I'll put it this way. It's kind of like when you find an animal den, right?
Mhm.
Like, the animal's around, but you can kind of smell its essence.
Yeah.
You can see signs of it. It's around. Like, so that's kind of what this building is. It's like a wreck. Like when you find a mouse den in the corner of your house or something, you move something and you see all the signs. You know? You don't see the actual mouse, but you see all the signs.
Yeah.
But the mouse is out there, the mouse is somewhere and it's somewhere. And that's kind of the same vibe we get here. It's like you can kind of feel it around, like you can feel its presence. But then when it's actually like physically present, it's just this kind of condensed thing, and it can sort of come out to meet you.
Yeah.
So when we're walking by, we're kind of a magnet for it, so it comes out and kind of follows us for a second. And sometimes it might take a second or two for it to catch up with us. So, but we both narrowed down like basically the same 15-foot space.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
And that was pretty. Yeah. So that was a really cool thing to see that. And we also picked out the spot down the block too. And there was a bunch of other stuff in between that we didn't really match up on.
Yeah.
But these two spots was definitely like, proved to me that me and Joe are kind of at the same level.
Yeah.
And we can both feel this stuff like legitimately, and then being able to confirm with the place that we stopped in front of that it is indeed haunted makes us believe like, okay, well, we're not crazy. As skeptical as I am, like I would always second guess myself and question it. But to be able to do this literally dozens and dozens of times where I just get a vibe and then start asking questions is, proof to me anyway.
Be interesting to capture that too, of you guys separately going through an area and catching a vibe and seeing how that matches up, because
we have all that here on this Tascam.
That's good. So, that's good. Cool.
And it'll be up to you to like put all that together.
Make it happen.
Yeah, cool. Well, thanks a lot for being here, and we look forward to working with you more. And and we'll make it happen. Cool.
Sounds good.
All right, so this has been episode 1 of the Supernatural Occurrence Studies miscellaneous Mental Detectors spin-off podcast. And keep on listening, and hopefully we'll be doing more of these soon and get more haunted places logged into the books and find more stories. Be cool out there, or whatever our catchphrase is. That.